Hello everyone and welcome here to Donovan Stadium for this Game 3 matchup of the 2021 American Legion Junior Tournament for the states of New York. I'm James and Blake are here to bring you Game 3. And I did mention before that there would be the winning teams that would be performing in Game 3. However, things have changed due to the rain delay, and now the two losing teams are going to be playing, in which it's going to be Endicott Post 82 and Utica Post 229 for this matchup. And I'm going to be giving you guys the starting lineups. There's been a few changes, not too major, but nonetheless they are some of the changes. I'm going to start off with Endicott Post, in which the center fielder is number 11, Michael Fernati. And then the batting second will be the second baseman, number 4, Nicholas Lang. Batting third will be the third baseman, number 21, Cooper Hughes. Batting cleanup will be catcher, number 14, Dylan Kelly. Batting fifth will be the pitcher, number 7, Jonah Conklin, who will be pitching after he pitched yesterday before the rain delay. And then batting sixth will be the first baseman, number 13, Aiden Houghton. Batting seventh will be right fielder, number 20, Jacob Bender. And batting eighth will be shortstop, number 2, Cameron Nunn. And batting ninth, and last but not least, will be left fielder, number 19, Talon McVannon. Now, batting for the Utica Post Junior 229 will be starting for number 6, the shortstop, Joey Gentile. Batting second will be the first baseman, number 1, Angelo Potagrassi. Batting third will be the third baseman, 27, Ty Bonner. Batting in cleanup will be the designated hitter, number 24, Pat Corridori. Batting fifth will be the center fielder, number 2, Jake Liu. Batting sixth will be the right fielder, number 5, Nick Parada. Batting seventh will be the second baseman, number 25, Parker Jeruzzi. Batting eighth will be the catcher, number 3, Mike Albertine. And last but not least, for the Utica Post, last but not least, batting ninth will be pitcher number 18, Peyton Kimball. So that is your starting lineup here for Game 3 of this 2021 American Legion Junior Baseball Tournament for the state of New York. We'll be back to bring you the top of the first inning after the national anthem here on UCTV and American Legion Baseball Network.
And the left fielder,
I will keep the rules. Keep paid by team. Keep myself fit. Keep a sound soul, a clean mind, and a healthy body.
please rise for the playing of the national anthem.
And we welcome you back here to Donovan Stadium as we're about to get ready for Game 3 of this 2021 Department of New York Junior American Legion Baseball Tournaments, in which it's going to be the Endicott Tigers taking on the Utica Post 229. I'm James and Blaker here to bring you this broadcast, and so far it's been a wild one, to say the least, here today. Saw that Endicott almost had a chance to try and come back in the bottom of the 7th inning in the first game, but lost that one, which is why they're playing this one against Utica Post. Meanwhile, Utica Post itself got trounced by the Rockland Pirates 16-13 in their matchup in Game 2. And now these are the battles of the teams that have lost the first 2 games of this tournament. Pitching on the mound for Utica Post will be number 18, Peyton Kimball, who was a pitch hitter in the last game, and now he's going to be starting in this one. It's going to be an interesting matchup, to say the least. In talking about the infielders of this matchup, nothing has really changed that much. Parker Jeruzzi will still be at second base, along with Angelo Potagrassi at first base. Ty Bonner will still be at third, and Joey Gentile will still be at shortstop. However, in terms of the outfield, Jake Liu will be playing center field. Nick Parada will still be playing right field. And in terms of left field, Jason Angotti will still be playing at left field. He did play left field in the last game as well. He did transition to second base later on in the second game of this tournament. But for the lineups for Endicott, nothing has really changed much. This was technically the original lineup for the first game before the rain delay canceled everything. And Jonah Conklin will be pitching this game for the Tigers of Endicott when they are due on defense in the bottom of the first inning. But as we're going to get things underway here, Michael Ferranti, the center fielder, number 11, will be starting things off for Game 3 of the 2021 New York Junior American Legion Baseball Tournament. Kimball's first pitch is outside for ball 1.
The center fielder, number 11, Michael Ferranti.
As now with this 1-0 count, Kimball will be dealing. That's going to be strike 1, 1-1. Both of these two teams lost their respective matchups. The game after this one will be the Mariners and Pirates, as they both won their games, as that's a strike for Kimball to make it 1-2. Here's a 1-2 pitch. That one's going to be outside. It's now 2-2. Still windy in the ballpark, as I've been mentioning throughout the day. It's been lightening up a little bit, though. That's going to be low for ball 3. It's now a full count to Ferranti. Here's a pitch. And that's going to be a high pop up the left field. And it looks like Angotti gets the first out of Game 3. And now with one out, the second baseman, number 4, Nicholas Lang, will be up here for Endicott. He had a decent game last time, playing second base. And that one's going to be low for ball 1 as it gets past Mike Albertine, who is now filling in for Frank Pele at catcher for Utica Post 229. Kimball deals. That's going to be outside for ball 2. Both of these two teams have struggled in their first 2 games. Now it's time to determine who will win this one in advance. So that was a ball for ball 3. It's now 3-0 for Lang. Kimball deals. And that's going to be outside for ball 4. As Lang takes his base, we'll see number 21, Cooper Hughes, the third baseman. As he's going to try and extend Lang.
Number 21, Cooper Hughes.
So you see there's one out here in the top of the first inning. So far, no score. And no hits as well. And that's going to be a strike. One was surprisingly low, but nonetheless, they call the strike on Hughes. And it's now 0-1. We swing and a miss for strike 2, and that's a throw, and that's going to be an out. As Lang steals second, Parker Jeruzzi was able to get the tag on Nicholas Lang, and there's 2 outs here in the top of the first inning. So there's no runners. Here's the 0-2 pitch. And it's going to be a pop up to left field yet again. And Jason Angotti gets the third out. So we're going to go into the bottom of the first inning. So far, there is no score. And we are back here for the bottom of the first inning here at Donovan Stadium for the 2021 New York Junior American Legion Baseball Tournament. This is Game 3 of that matchup. I'm Jameson Blaker bringing you it. As so far, Utica Post was excellent in the top of the first inning, not giving up a run, and was able to get Nicholas Lang caught stealing. And which now in the bottom of the first inning, Joey Gentile is going to go back to work for Utica Post. He's going to be leading it off here. As in terms of the infield for Endicott, they'll have third baseman Cooper Hughes stay at third base. Shortstop Cameron Nunn will be back at shortstop. Second baseman will be Nicholas Lang, and the first baseman will be Aiden Houghton. He's the only change so far for Endicott, as the previous first baseman was Jacob Bender, but now he'll be playing at right field. Jonah Conklin is now back, pitching for Endicott. He was earlier replaced by Gavin Bowman. in the
shortstop.
remake of the first game earlier this morning. And Joey Gentile is now at the plate for Utica Post. And that's going to be inside for strike one. Joey Gentile is definitely going to try and get things started early for Utica Post. Conklin deals, and that's one that's going to be outside for ball one. It's now 1-1. Conklin deals. That's going to be a swing and a miss for strike two. Joey Gentile is now going to be dealing with a 1-2 count here in the bottom of the first inning with no outs. So he is the leadoff batter. That is going to be low for ball two. 2-2 for Joey Gentile. As Angelo Potagrassi is up on deck. See what Joey Gentile does on this 2-2 pitch. And it's going to be low for ball three, and it's now a full count. Jonah Conklin now working with a full count here on Joey Gentile with no outs in the bottom of the first. Conklin is going to call time here. And Gentile gets back to the batter's box. Conklin deals on a 3-2 pitch. And that's going to be a foul ball. Hits the corner of the bleachers. And it will still be a full count for Joey Gentile. So far, no outs. Still here in the bottom of the first inning. As Gentile is working the pitch count on Conklin. It's going to get a grounder to third. Cooper Hughes throws, and that's going to be out number one. Great play there by Cooper Hughes. As now Angelo Potagrassi is up for Utica Post. In terms of offense, Utica Post definitely needs to try and improve it heading into this game. And that's a good way to start it off as Angelo Potagrassi gets a base hit single for Utica Post. It's definitely a good Kickstarter if you're Utica Post, because now you have Ty Bonner up with one out here in the bottom of the first inning. Post has a possibility to try and get runs on the board depending on if Potagrassi tries to steal here and makes it. Conklin throws back to first, and Potagrassi is obviously safe. See Conklin now going to be thrown to Ty Bonner. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a strike. There's a throw to second. And Potagrassi is out. And that is out number two, as just like Nicholas Lang in the top of the first, in the bottom of the first, Angelo Potagrassi gets caught stealing. As now Ty Bonner has no one on base to protect him. He now has an 0-1 count. Here's a pitch, and that's going to be strike two. Ty Bonner so far is down and out with an 0-2 count up here. Conklin deals. And it's going to be a grounder to Lang, and Lang throws it off to first for out number 3. So that is the end of the first inning. There is still no score here in the 2021 New York Junior American Legion Baseball Tournament. And we are back to bring you the top of the second inning, in which there is no score here in Game 3 of the New York Junior American Legion Baseball Tournament. Now we have number 14, the catcher, Dylan Kelly. As Dylan Kelly gets the first pitch, and he swings at it, hacks a foul ball. It's now 0-1. So far, the focus has been on defense here in the first inning. Let's see what possibly will happen here in the top of the second. Here's a pitch by Peyton Kimball, and that's going to be strike 2. Now with an 0-2 count. First batter up here in the top of the second. Let's see what happens. And that's going to be a grounder, and it bounces over Gentile, and it will be a base hit for Dylan Kelly. As now there's a runner on first base with number 7, Jonah Conklin, up at the plate for Endicott. Dylan's going to take a big lead here. Here's a pitch by Kimball, and that's going to be down the middle for a strike. Here's the 0-1. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Conklin took a hack at that one. He swung and missed. It's now 0-2 with a runner on first. Kimball deals. And that's going to be a little outside for ball 1. 1-2 now for Conklin. That almost looked like it was inside, and by the fans' reaction, they thought it was as well. But here's a 1-2. That's going to be outside for ball 2. 2-2. Peyton Kimball now working a 2-2 count. And that's going to be low for ball 3. Here's a throw, and that's going to get past Jeruzzi right there as Mike Albertine couldn't get it in time. And now there's a full count for Jonah Conklin with no outs here in the top of the second inning. Here's the full count. That's going to be high and outside for ball 4. As Endicott has runners on second and first. And up to the plate is number 13, Aiden Houghton, the first baseman.
Aiden Houghton.
So Aiden Houghton, who pitch hit in the first game of this tournament, is now a starter, and he's now working the first base line. Kimball deals. That's going to be a high pop-up as it goes up to the roof, as you can hear it. And that's going to be strike number 1 for Houghton. No outs here in the top of the second inning with runners on second and first. Here's the 0-1 pitch. And that's going to be way, way outside. As Bob Uecker would say, just a bit outside. And that definitely was. It's now a 1-1 count to Houghton. And that's going to be a swing for a strike 2. Luckily for Utica Post, that wasn't strike 3, because Houghton could have easily ran that one. It's now going to be 1-2 to Houghton with runners on second and first. And that's going to be low for ball 2, 2-2. No outs here in the top of the second. That's going to be low for another full count. Now Peyton Kimball definitely in this situation is starting to probably get a little bit nervous with runners on second and first, and this full count isn't helping. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a high one to deep right field. Let's see. And that's going to be over the head of Parada as a throw comes in from Potagrassi. And that's going to leave the bases loaded here with no outs. And number 20, Jacob Bender, the right fielder, is up at the plate. That was truly unfortunate for Nick Parada right there, as the ball just went over his head. He had a chance to catch it. But unfortunately, there are still no outs for Utica Post. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. That's strike 1. Still no outs, and the bases are loaded for Peyton Kimball. Definitely put in a pressure type situation. And that's going to be strike 2. Or it looked like it with the way he called it, but I guess it's a ball and it's 1-1. No, it's actually 0-2. He's saying it right there. I'm just going off the scoreboard, and the scoreboard is definitely wrong. That's going to be outside. It's now going to be 1-2. No outs here in the top of the second inning. And that's going to be strike 3. So Peyton Kimball gets a little breathing room with that strikeout. It's now 1 out here in the top of the second inning. Now the bases are loaded with Cameron Nunn, the shortstop. Utica Post is looking for a grounder. That's going to be a swing and a miss for strike 1 as there's a runner coming home, and it's going to be safe. Dylan Kelly slides home for the first run of the ball game to make it 1-0 Endicott. And so far, that breathing room evaporated with runners on third and second, as there's no possible chance for a double play opportunity unless if they pull something out of a magical hat. Kimball throws down the middle for strike 2. It's now an 0-2 count to Cameron Nunn. That swing and a miss, as he actually says did they say he tipped it? He did, as Cameron Nunn tipped that one to stay alive at 0-2. Runners at third and second, and that's going to be low for ball 1. The score is now 1-0 Endicott over Utica Post. As Mike Albertine is coming up to have a little bit of a conference with Peyton Kimball to check if they're on the same page. Here's a 1-2 pitch now to Cameron Nunn. And that's going to be another ball. It's now 2-2. Here's the 2-2 pitch. And that's going to be outside for ball 3. Another full count for Peyton Kimball. Jake Lou was put in a lot of these situations in the last game for Utica Post. That's going to be a high pop-up. And Potagrassi gets out number 2. With the runners staying at third and second. With 2 outs here in the top of the second inning. The Utica Post really got lucky in that situation with that pop-up to first base. Now here's Talon McVannon up for Endicott. Kimball deals. That's going to be outside for ball 1. Runners are still at third and second with 2 outs here. Here's the pitch. That's going to be foul and out of play. It's going to lead to a 1-1 count for McVannon. So far, Endicott has 2 hits in this ball game. Meanwhile, Utica has 1. Here's a 1-1 count. And it's going to be another pop up to left field. Is Zangotti going to get this one? Yes, he does. And we're going to go into the bottom of the second inning, in which a run was scored by Endicott to make it 1-0. We'll be back to bring you more coverage here on UCTV and American Legion Baseball Network. And we welcome you back here for the bottom of the second inning, in which Endicott leads 1-0 over Utica Post. As Utica Post is now up to bat, as Patrick Corridori, number 24, is up to lead things off for Utica Post. Conklin deals. It's going to be a grounder to short. Nunn's going to throw it. And that's going to be out number 1 here in the bottom of the second inning. It'll now bring up Jake Liu. Jake Liu had he wasn't really up to himself in the last game. He didn't really do a good job in terms of pitching, but he's trying to make up for it here in this afternoon game against Endicott. Here's the pitch. It's 1-0. Struggling all throughout, especially in that top of the third inning against the Pirates of Rockland. A better way to make it up than right here. That's going to be strike 1. It's now 1 out here with a 1-1 count over to Jacob Liu. No one's on base. Here's a pitch. And Liu gets a hit at right field, and that's going to be a base hit. It's going to go off to the wall as Liu's going to go for 3. And he's going to stay there. Excellent triple for Jake Liu. And what a way to redeem himself after the last game. Then right here against Endicott. Loses his helmet. He's going to get it right back. And Nick Parada is going to be up at bat to try and tie this game up at 1 if he could get an RBI opportunity. There's only 1 out here in the bottom of the second, in which the score is only 1-0, Endicott in the lead. First baseman is coming in, along with the third baseman. Here's the pitch. And Parada's going to get a high one to left field. Jake Liu's going to tag up. And he's going to make it home to tie it up at 1 here at Donovan Stadium in the bottom of the second inning. Just excellent performance by Jake Liu in order to drive a run in to tie the game up at 1. Definitely something Utica Post needed. And what a way to rebound back after having such a terrible game. And we're going to see a grounder by Jeruzzi. And that will be out number 3. So that is the end of the second inning, in which we are all tied up at 1 here at Donovan Stadium for Game 3 of the 2021 New York Junior American Legion Baseball Tournament. We'll be back to give you more coverage on UCTV. And we are back here in the top of the third inning, in which we are all tied up at 1.
Michael Ferretti.
As Ferretti is now up for Endicott. That one's going to be outside for ball 1. You can see that Mike Albertine's having a little bit of trouble with some of the dirt getting in his eye due to the wind. The wind has been picking up on and off throughout the day. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a high fly ball. And it will be caught for out number 1 by center fielder Jake Liu, who got the triple in the bottom of the second inning. Now back up the bat is the second baseman, number 4, Nicholas Lang. Last time up at bat, he was able to walk. And he tried to attempt to steal a base, but lost that battle. And that's going to be strike 1. It's now 0-1. The bottom of the second inning probably could have gave Utica Post some confidence, but let's see what happens here on defense. That's a swing and a miss for strike 2. Peyton Kimball so far is on fire here in the top of the third and trying to keep it that way. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be foul and out of play. Still at 0-2. No runners on, 1 out. Top of the third inning. The game is all tied up at 1. I think the umpire was talking to some of the fans there. And it's now going to be an 0-2 count on Nicholas Lang. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be outside for ball 1. See that the fans are shaking the home plate part of Donovan Stadium. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Excellent strikeout there for Peyton Kimball. With 2 outs now here in the top of the third. We now see Cooper Hughes up at the plate for Endicott. So far, you got to appreciate the crowd of Utica Post there to try and encourage that strikeout for Peyton Kimball until they put a little bit of pressure. Ball was outside. It's now a 1-0 count to Cooper Hughes. 2 outs here in the top of the third. No runners on. And that's going to be a foul ball for a 1-1 count. Here's a 1-1 pitch. That's going to be a grounder to Joey Gentile. He's going to throw to first. And that's going to be overthrown as Hughes is now going to make his way to second base. And gets there without a try. Without an attempt there, and it's now going to be a runner on second base as Hughes is going to try and get his shoe back. And now up at the plate for Endicott is number 14, Dylan Kelly. Responsible for getting in the last run as he crossed home plate to make it 1-0 in the top of the second inning. And now there's 2 outs, runner on second base, and a 1-1 tie. Peyton Kimball deals. And that's going to be a line drive out of the stadium, and that will be a foul ball, making it 0-1. The pitcher, Jonah Conklin, is up on deck. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That's going to be a ball, 1-1. Here in the top of the third inning, we're all tied up at 1. That could possibly change right here depending on what Dylan Kelly does in this situation. That's going to be outside for ball 2. Here's the 2-1 pitch. That's going to be out of play, making it 2-2. Peyton Kimball is trying to get out of a jam here with runner on second base and 2 outs. Only thing he really needs to do is just get this one out. We've seen before, and the last time the Utica Post was in the third inning, they had 2 outs and they gave up 8 runs. But this will not be the case, as it's the end of the top of the third inning with your score all tied up at 1 here in Game 3 of the 2021 New York Junior American Legion Baseball Tournament. And we welcome you back here in the bottom of the third inning, in which the score is all tied up at 1. And Mike Albertine and the Utica Post 229s are up to bat here as they're trying to get something going to possibly try and take a lead here in the bottom of the third inning. Conklin deals. And Albertine goes for a bunt, but it hit his leg and they went foul. Now it's going to be 0-1 for Albertine. Score is all tied up at 1. Conklin deals. And that's going to be strike 2. As Albertine tried to push back a little bit so he wouldn't get hit. Surprisingly, the umpire calls that one a strike. Here's the 0-2 pitch. And that's That surprisingly wasn't a strike, and it's now 1-2. Weird calls for the umpire here in the bottom of the third. Here's a 1-2 on Albertine. That's going to be outside for ball 2. So far it's been a close one here. See what Conklin does on this pitch. Here's the 2-2. Albertine hits it high, but playable. And that's going to be out number 1, as that was caught by the left fielder, Talon McVannon.
The pitcher, number 18.
And now that brings up Peyton Kimball, who is now up for Utica post 229. So far has been pitching quite magnificently so far for the past 3 innings. That one's going to be high and outside for ball 1. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be down the center field line, and it's going to be a base hit for Peyton Kimball. As he gets a single out of that, it's now leading up to the top of the order with Joey Gentile now getting back up to the plate with a runner on first. Good old Joey has a chance to try and extend the runner. Kimball takes a big lead, as that ball was outside for ball 1. As there's 1 out here in the bottom of the third. Now have a 1-0 count. Joey Gentile. That one's going to be outside for ball 2. Here's the throw, and Peyton Kimball gets the steal. Now gives Joey Gentile a RBI opportunity. Here's the 2-0 pitch. That one's going to be low for ball 3. Here's the pitch, and that is ball 4. And there's going to be runners on second and first with 1 out here in the bottom of the third inning. And Angelo Potagrassi is now up at the plate.
The first baseman, number 1, Angelo Potagrassi.
Mason Ryan, the manager for Endicott, is now coming up to the mound to check in on Jonah Conklin. This game is still all tied up at 1 here in the bottom of the third inning. It's been competitive, to say the least, compared to the first 2 games we've seen. So far, this has been the closest one. Hopefully my words do not jinx the situation at hand. But here's the pitch now to Potagrassi, and that one is outside for ball 1. Runners on second and first. That's going to be outside for ball 2. So Kimball is at second. Gentile is at first. 1 out here in the bottom of the third inning. Here's the 2-0 pitch. And that's going to be strike. It's now 2-1 to Potagrassi. going to be strike two. It's now 2-2 as Conklin is trying to redeem himself. They're giving runners on second and first an opportunity to try and score. But here's a 2-2 pitch to Podegrassi. And that is outside for ball three. That ball was down the middle, but the umpire thought it was outside. It's now a full count to Angelo Podegrassi. Here's a pitch. And that's going to hit the netting for a foul. And it's still a full count. One out here in the bottom of the third. Conklin deals. And that's going to be outside for ball four, and the bases are loaded. That brings up Ty Bonner. As Ty Bonner shows a lot of athleticism. Didn't show it a lot in the first game that he played in game two. But is trying to prove himself here in game three. That's going to be inside for strike one. So the bases are loaded with one out for Utica Post. They have a chance to take the lead here in the bottom of the third inning. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That's going to be outside for ball one. Jonah Conklin trying to get out of a jam here. He needs to get a double play opportunity. Let's see what he does on a 1-1. That's going to be a high pop-up in the infield. As Cooper Hughes misses that and drops it, but it will be a infield fly rule nonetheless. And that will be out number two for Endicott. So the Tigers really got lucky on that play. The infield fly rule in place. The bases are still loaded, and it's still all tied up at one. Corridori needs to get something for Utica Post if they want to try and extend their lead or try and take the lead here. Hence it is because it's all tied up at one. Peyton Kimball is at third, Gentile at second, Podegrassi at first. And that's going to be a high pop-up in the infield. And Endicott and Jonah Conklin get out of a jam with the bases loaded. So that is the end of three. And we're still all tied up at one here in the Junior American Legion Baseball Tournament of New York. And we welcome you back here in the top of the fourth inning, in which it is all tied up at 1. Endicott was able to get out of a jam with the bases loaded. We're able to get the 2 outs they needed in order to keep this game tied up at 1. And Conklin gets out number 1 as it was caught by center fielder Jake Liu on that play. And Jonah Conklin gets out number 1 for Endicott here in the top of the fourth inning.
Aiden Houghton.
Now Aiden Houghton is up for Endicott with 1 out here in the top of the fourth. And he slams that one to right field. Is Parada going to get it? No, it goes over his head. Houghton's now going to second. As Parada has a hard time picking up the ball, he then throws it to Jeruzzi in time. And that's going to be a base hit, a double. Extra bases for Aiden Houghton right there. And now with 1 out in the top of the fourth, number 20, Jacob Bender is up. The man Houghton replaced at first base. And there's going to be a high pop up the right field as Parada has an easier chance at this one and gets the catch for out number 2. And that will leave Aiden Houghton at second base.
Now batting shortstop number 2, Cameron Nunn.
So Cameron Nunn is now up for Endicott. With a runner on second base, he has an RBI opportunity. Kimball deals. That one's going to be low for ball 1. Here's a 1-0 pitch. That's going to be a grounder and a base hit past Gentile. Houghton's going to stay at third and not try and run home. Leaves runners on third and first, as that was a single for Cameron Nunn. As now number 19, Talon McVenon, is up at the plate for Endicott. That's going to be strike 1 for Peyton Kimball. Kimball's trying to get out of a jam here. He has a runner on third base that could possibly give Endicott the lead. Kimball deals. That's going to be outside for ball 1. Houghton is at third. Nunn is at first. Here's a 1-1 pitch. Nunn steals, but it's going to be a grounder to second base. Gentile throws to first. And that is out number 3. And Kimball gets out of a jam in the top of the fourth inning with the score all tied up at 1. Still here in the 2021 New York Junior American Legion Baseball Tournament. And we're back here in the bottom of the fourth inning. The score all tied up at 1. And Jacob Blue is now back up at the plate. Last time at bat, he had a triple. And that drove in a run in which he scored to make it all tied up at 1 here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Conklin deals. And that's going to be a strike. It was really close to Lou, but nonetheless was considered a strike on the board. It's now 0-1. There's the 0-1 pitch, and that's going to be a grounder to first. And that will be picked up by Houghton for out number 1. And that will bring up Nick Parada. He's been having a tough day on the field, and the right field side. As most balls have been hit to him so far. Some have been over his head. Some he's been able to catch. But here he is up at bat. And that's going to be a foul ball as it hits the netting. It'll be an 0-1 count for Nick Parada. Game is all tied up at 1 here in the bottom of the fourth inning. It's been a back and forth matchup, and it's been defensive so far. And that's going to be another foul ball that hit the netting. It's now 0-2. Yeah, talking about it being a defensive battle so far through the past 4 innings. It hasn't been like that in the first 2 games. Final score for the first one was 8-6. In the second game, it was 16-3. So far, it's all tied up at 1 here as that almost hit Parada, and that's going to be outside for ball 1. Parada's now going to be working with a 1-2 count with 1 out here in the bottom of the fourth. That's going to be a swing and another foul that hits the netting. Count stays at 1-2. Here's the 1-2 pitch. That's going to be outside for ball 2. Parada's now working with a 2-2 count with 1 out here in the bottom of the fourth. Conklin deals. That's going to be a pop-up in the foul territory. And Cooper Hughes gets out number 2 here in the bottom of the fourth. Now brings up Parker Jeruzzi.
Parker Jeruzzi.
Parker Jeruzzi has been somewhat of a good fielder throughout today at second base. See what he does here at this at bat. That one's going to be outside, ball 1. The 1-0 count, 2 outs here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Conklin deals. That's going to be a strike, 1-1. All tied up at 1 here. Here's the 1-1 pitch to Parker Jeruzzi. That's going to be outside for ball 2. Here's the 2-1 count. That's going to be a grounder to first. As Houghton was able to throw it to Conklin for out number 3. So we're at the end of 4, and we're still all tied up at 1 here on the American Legion Baseball Tournament of 2021. And we are back here in the top of the 5th inning, in which we're all tied up at 1. As we're now going to start the top of the order for Endicott with number 11, Michael Ferranti. Kimball deals, and that's going to be strike 1. So apparently one of the reasons why the umpires came to the stands was there was a little bit of an argument between the two fans, Endicott and Utica Post. So that was one of the reasons. That was earlier back in the game. The count is now 1-1. And that's going to be a high pop up to center field as Jake Liu has a shot to catch it, and he does. And that is out number 1 here in the top of the 5th inning.
The second baseman
As
number
Nicholas
4.
Lang, number
Nicholas
4,
Lang.
is up at bat. So far, it has been a defensive barrage. Let's see what Kimball does here against Lang. That's going to be a foul off the netting for strike 1. One out here in the top of the 5th inning. As it looks like Lang will call a time out in that situation, but now he steps back into the batter's box. And that's another swing as a foul, hitting the net for an 0-2 count. No runners on. Here's the 0-2 pitch. And that's a high flyer deep in the foul territory, but Bonner will be able to make the catch for out number 2. Excellent catch by Ty Bonner. Now with 2 outs here in the top of the 5th inning.
Number 21, Cooper Hughes.
Cooper Hughes is now up. Here's a pitch. That's going to be outside for ball 1. There's now a 1-0 count, 2 outs, no one on base. Here's a 1-0 pitch. And that's going to be outside for ball 2. Payne Kimball has been putting on a heck of a performance here for the first 5 innings of work. And that's going to be a foul. It'll now make it 2-1. Same as Cooper Hughes' jersey number, which is 21. Here's a 2-1 pitch. That's going to be a grounder and picked up by Ty Bonner. He throws to first, and that is out number 3. And we're going to go into the bottom of the 5th inning, in which we are still, and I mean still, tied up at 1.
3, Mike Albertine.
And welcome back here to the bottom of the 5th inning for Game 3 of the 2021 New York Junior American Legion Baseball Tournament, in which we are all tied up at 1 here in the bottom of the 5th inning between Utica Post and Endicott Post. Here's a pitch, and that one is low for ball 1. Albertine is trying to lead things off for Utica Post and see if they could try and get something going here to start the bottom of the 5th inning. Here's a grounder, and Nunn bobbles it but throws it to first, and Albertine is out. And that is out number 1 here on the bottom of the 5th inning. A great play put on there by Cameron Nunn.
Now batting for Utica, the pitcher, number 18, Peyton Kimball.
So Nunn gets the first out of the bottom of the 5th inning for Endicott. And now we see Peyton Kimball is up at the plate. He's been having a heck of a pitching performance, only giving up 3 hits. And he gets a base hit from the right center field line right there. Excellent play and a single by Peyton Kimball. And now put a base runner on for Utica Post.
Now batting the shortstop, number 6, Joey Gentile.
As Joey Gentile is now up at the plate with a runner on first base. An excellent opportunity for Utica Post to try and get more base runners on. And who better to do that than Joey Gentile for Utica Post? That one's going to be outside for ball 1. It's a great single by Peyton Kimball on at the right center field. Beautiful hit from up here. And that one's going to be a strike for Gentile. It's now 1-1. 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th inning. We're still all tied up at 1. Conklin deals, and that's going to be a high flyer to center field. And Fernandes gets the out there at center field, rushes in for out number 2. Now Endicott has 2 outs here, defensively speaking, with a runner on first base. And Patagrassi is at the plate. Big lead by Kimball. He's going to steal. Let's see the throw. And Kimball is safe. Now there's a runner on second base with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Patagrassi has an RBI opportunity right here. And he squanders it with a high pop-up at the pitching mound. And Conklin gets out number 3. And now we're at the end of 5 innings, and we're still all tied up at 1. And we welcome you back here to the top of the 6th inning where we're all tied up at 1. And a pitching duel has broken out between Jonah Conklin and Peyton Kimball.
Now batting the catcher.
And now the catcher, number 14, Dylan Kelly, is now in to start things off here in the top of the 6th inning for Endicott. And that is going to be high and outside for ball 1. Game 3 of the 2021 New York Junior American Legion Baseball Tournament. And that one's going to be outside for ball 2. So far, out of the 3 games, this one has been the most interesting. And this is going to be a grounder for a base hit as Dylan Kelly gets on with a single, as each team now has 4 hits. Now here comes the pitcher, number 7, Jonah Conklin. He's been pitching magnificent alongside who's pitching right now, Peyton Kimball. Runner on first base. Here's a pitch. That is outside for ball 1. For 1-0 count, no outs here in the top of the 6th inning. There's a runner on first base. Conklin deals. Excuse me. Kimball deals, and he's outside for ball 2. See, Albertine is talking to Peyton Kimball right now to try and get him to keep his composure here, even though there's a runner on first base. Here's a 2-0 count to Conklin. And that's going to be inside for strike 1. It's now 2-1 here in the top of the 6th inning. It's a high pop-up deep into foul territory. And that will be a foul ball out of play. It's now 2-2. Just ran out of warning track there for Podagrassi. Now leads to a 2-2 count on Conklin. Kimball deals. And that's going to be outside for ball 3. Full count for Peyton Kimball with a runner on first base. No outs here in the top of the 6th inning. Here's a pitch. That's going to be a grounder, and that's going to go foul. Stays at a full count for Conklin. Here's the 3-2 pitch. And that's going to be high and out of play. And it hits the roof. It's another dinger. It's the second one of the day. Now we have a full count here for Conklin as he's staying alive. And that's going to be ball 4. So Conklin will take his base as now there's runners on second and first. And here comes Aiden Houghton up at the plate. So with no outs here, it looks like Utica Post's Frank Cronaccia is going to be coming out to talk to Peyton Kimball, who's been struggling here a little bit. Has no outs, 2 runners on second and first base. It makes you wonder if he's going to keep them in. He's just saying to Peyton Kimball, "Are you okay?" And he's saying, "Yeah, I'm ready to go." And that's one of the reasons why he's still on the mound, to try and finish this top 6. So Aiden Houghton now up again. Last time up he was on base. And he reached third. Unfortunately, nothing came out of that. But nonetheless, Peyton Kimball gets a strike right there, and it's now 0-1. That's going to go outside, and it's now 1-1. Runners on second and first with no outs here in the top of the 6th inning. If Utica Post wants to try get something going here, they definitely need to try and possibly get a grounder. Swing and a miss, and that's strike 2. It's now a 1-2 count as Peyton Kimball is trying to strike out Aiden Houghton. Here's a 1-2. That's going to go into the netting for a foul, and it stays at 1-2. Endicott is trying to get a run in with an RBI here for Houghton. If they do such, they could possibly take the lead. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. And that is out number 1 here in the top of the 6th inning. Leaves the runners on second and first base. And now we have a pinch hitter, Vinny DeBonis. As he was the relief pitcher in the first game, as he was able to relieve Gavin Bowman of his pitching duties. But now he's coming in as a pinch hitter. With runners on second and first. With 1 out as well. As his time is being called. As the umpire left. He went to the corner of the tent area, but he's coming back right now. Makes you wonder what he was doing over there. But nonetheless, it will now be we'll be ready to go here for Vinny DeBonis. And that is going to be foul. And it'll be 0-1. Runners on second and first. 1 out here in the top of the 6th inning. Utica Post needs a grounder here in order to try and get a double play, and they could get out of the top of the 6th inning if they do so. Here's a pitch. And that's going to be a base hit single down the center. And it now gives Endicott a bases-loaded opportunity to try and hone in an RBI. That play was quite interesting as Parker Jeruzzi was trying to go back to second in his usual position in order to field the play, but he should have stayed at the second base bag, and he would have been able to possibly make that catch. But unfortunately for Utica Post, the bases are loaded for Endicott. That's going to be a swing and a miss. Strike 1 for number 2, Cameron Nunn. He was able to get on base his last time up. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That's another grounder, and that's going to drive in a run. And Endicott finally scores a run to take the lead 2-1 against Utica Post. It's the first run we've seen since the 2nd inning. 4 innings went by, and now there's runners on 3rd and 2nd with 1 out here in the top of the 6th. And that is over the head of Cameron Nunn. Cameron Nunn was taller, he could have got hit in that situation. One of the best situations you could be in if you are a short-statured player. And that's going to be strike 2. Well, here's now the 2-2 pitch to Cameron Nunn. And he's going to get a line drive to left field, base hit. And that will drive in another run as Endicott scores. Conklin gets home. And it is now 3-1 Tigers. Off of that RBI single from Cameron Nunn. We now see that Endicott has the advantage with 2 runs. And by the looks of it right now, Frank Conaccia is going to try and get a new pitcher for Utica Post. And Peyton Kimball is out of the ball game. After having a spectacular 5 innings of play, giving up 2 runs, now we're going to see Parker Jeruzzi in the ball game, trying to relieve for Peyton Kimball. We're taking a break here. You're listening to UCTV on the American Legion Baseball Network. And we welcome you back here to Donovan Stadium, in which Endicott has took the lead here in the bottom of the 6th, making the score 3-1 over Utica Post. And now Talon McVannon is up. The runner is on second and first. It's going to be a grounder, and it's going to be a toss over to Jeruzzi for out number 2. And no, they're saying it's not. They're saying Jeruzzi was off the bag, and now the bases are loaded yet again. McVannon got really lucky on that one, and Endicott now has the bases loaded as Conaccia wanted to talk to the first base umpire to see what was what. But nonetheless, we see Michael Ferenti is up for Endicott with 1 out here. Ball is low for ball 1. This is game 3 of the tournament so far today. And it was going to be a base hit down the single, down the middle, as 2 runs are going to score in, and it's now 5-1 Endicott. Off a single by Ferranti, putting Endicott up by 4 runs.
Now batting number 4, the second baseman.
And now, just like that, Nicholas Lang will be up at the plate with 1 out here and runners on second and first. And that's going to be a strike for Jeruzzi. It's now 0-1. So far, it's been a rough day for Utica Post. They were battling it all throughout. And now we see Nicholas Lang Going to go with a base hit right there at left field. And everyone's going to be safe with the bases loaded. As Talon McVannon was able to get into third base safely. It almost looked like the left fielder, Jacob Liu, was going to be able to make a catch out of that, but did not. And there's still one out with the bases loaded. Cooper Hughes is now up for Endicott with a 5-1 lead for the Tigers. That's going to be a foul tip to make it strike one for Parker Jeruzzi. You saw Utica Post battle it out here throughout this third game of the tournament. Just for it now to be a 4-run lead for Endicott. And that looks like it will be a ball for the count to be 1-1. Bases loaded. Here's a 1-1 pitch. And that's going to be a grounder to the third base line. More runners come in. McVannon and Ferranti give Endicott a 6-run lead by the score of 7-1 off that double off the left field foul line right there. Unbelievable work there by Cooper Hughes as Dylan Kelly is now up. And just like that, the game was all tied up at 1. And now Utica Post has given up 6 runs here in the 6th. That's going to be a ball, 1-0. They had this same exact problem, similar to the second game of this tournament, in which they had a great opportunity to keep the lead, but they lost 8 runs in the process. And now there's going to be another one coming home. And it's now 8-1 Endicott, with Nicholas Lang coming home after a passed ball by Mike Albertine. Now makes it 8-1 Endicott. 7 runs given up in this inning for Utica Post. There's going to be a grounder. Bonagrassi's going to take it home, and he's safe! Cooper Hughes gets home safely. And 8 runs, yet again, given up by Utica Post here in the third game of the 2021 Junior Tournament.
The pitcher, number 7, Jack Boswell.
That leads to a single by Dylan Kelly, who's on first base with no one on third and second. Jonah Conklin is back up. And he swings at that one for strike 1. Is the 0-1 count. That's going to be outside for ball 1. A lot of eerie similarities between this 6th inning and the 3rd inning of the second game of this tournament for Utica Post. That ball is outside for a ball, and it's going to be a safe steal right there. Just standing up was Dylan Kelly. And now there's a 2-1 count on Jonah Conklin with a runner on second. Jeruzzi deals. And that's going to be a grounder to third. That's a foul ball. That was almost fair. It was almost like the last liner at the left field line. But now it's a 2-2 count. Here's a pitch. That's going to be outside for ball 3. It's now a full count to Jonah Conklin. Here's a pitch, and that's going to be ball 4. As Dylan Kelly steals for third, there's now going to be a runner on third base and first base with one out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. It's now 9-1. And that's going to be foul and going out of play. 0-1. As Aiden Houghton is now up. 8 runs have been given up here in the top of the 6th inning. Runners on third and first. As with one out here, Jeruzzi threw it over to Pontegrassi to try and see if he get the lead from Conklin. Conklin is taking a big lead. He's going to steal. Albertine throws. And is that out? Yes! Conklin is out. As he was caught stealing by Albertine, and now there's 2 outs here in the top of the 6th inning. Very lucky play for Albertine right there. There's still a runner on third base. And now there's a 1-1 count. And it's going to be a grounder. Picked up. And that is out number 3. So we're going to go into the bottom of the 6th inning, in which Endicott took a dramatic 8-run lead. We'll be back to bring you more here on UCTV. And we're back here in the bottom of the 6th inning, in which Endicott took a outstanding 8-run lead in the top of the 6th inning. And it's now 9-1 Endicott over Utica Post. And just as Utica Post fans had some hope in this game, it all got squandered in the top of the 6th. Ty Bonner grounded out to second. He has a chance to make it, and he is safe. As number 13, Aiden Houghton, bobbled that ball at first base, and now leads to Ty Bonner being a base runner, and Patrick Corridori now up at bat.
The designated hitter, number 24.
So here in the bottom of the 6th inning, Endicott, with this 8-run lead, needs to try to make sure that stuff like that doesn't happen, as it's going to be a high pop out, but it's a diving catch nonetheless. I spoke too soon. An excellent catch for number 11, Michael Franti. And it's now 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th inning.
Jake Lou.
I felt that Corridori was possibly going to get a base hit in that situation. Little did I know, Ferranti was there at the spot, sliding for that catch. And now with 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th inning, we see Jake Liu is up. Bonner is still at first base. Here's a pitch. That one's going to be outside for ball 1. Phenomenal so far. Let's see what he does here, and that's going to be a grounder to second base. Here's a throw, and Lane gets out number 2 with that throw, as Ty Bonner's at second base. And now Nick Parada is up for Utica Post. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th inning. As Utica Post has given up 8 runs in the top of the 6th inning. See, Parada is going to throw it off to Nunn, and he is safe. Parada is safe as Houghton dropped the ball yet again. So Bonner is at third, Parada is at first, and they're only on base because of the errors of number 13, Aiden Houghton, who bobbled it on both of those occasions.
Number 25, the second baseman, Parker Giaruzzi.
As Parker Giaruzzi is now up for Utica Post. He's going to get a strike call. It's now 0-1. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th. It's 9-1 Endicott. Here's the pitch. And Giaruzzi hits a high one to right field. It's going back, and it is over the head of the right fielder, Jacob Bender. And that scores in a run as Ty Bonner comes in. And it's now 9-2. Endicott is still in the lead with runners on third and second. 2 outs still, and it's just great to see that Utica Post is not giving up that easily, despite now being down by 7 runs. And Jude Palladino is now up for Utica Post. He has a great opportunity to try and get the runners home. He has 2 outs to work with as Jonah Conklin is trying to get out of this jam, doesn't want to even encourage a rally for Utica Post. Utica Post, if they don't get anything here, they still have the bottom of the 7th inning. But obviously they would like to try and get more runs here in the bottom of the 6th. Here's the pitch. That's going to be outside for ball 1. Jude Palladino. It's now pitch hitting. And he's going to hit it, and it's a base hit down the right field side. In comes Parada. And in comes Jeruzzi as well, and it's now 9-4. A great single there.
Number 18, Peyton Kimball.
Great single there put on by Jude Palladino. As Utica Post is able to get some insurance runs in order to try and save it up for the bottom of the 7th if they could try and rally back. Heck, they could still try and rally back here in the bottom of the 6th as Peyton Kimball is up at the plate. They're also going to get a pinch runner in for Jude Palladino, and it's going to be number 22, Radamus Emanuel. So here is Peyton Kimball as the umpire is coming back to home plate. Emanuel has taken a large lead. And that's going to be a strike for Kimball. It's now 0-1. So it's now 9-4. Utica Post is down by 5 runs. Trying to slowly but surely trying to work their way up. That is going to be outside for ball 1. 1-1. Two outs here. Here's a 1-1 pitch to Peyton Kimball. He's going to hit one high and out of reach and out of play. And that will be a foul ball to make it 1-2 for Peyton Kimball. See here with a 1-2 pitch. That's going to be outside for ball 2. It's now 2-2. Only thing Utica Post could hope for right now is just to try and stay alive as much as possible. And with Emanuel on first base, that's what they're trying to do with this 2-2 count on Peyton Kimball. Emanuel steals. That's outside for ball 3, and Emanuel gets to second base with no contest. And now there's a full count on Peyton Kimball with a runner on second base. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a grounder to the middle. Nunn throws, and that's out number 3. And that is the end of the 6th inning, in which your score is Endicott 9, Utica 4, here for the 2021 New York Junior American Legion Baseball Tournament. And welcome back here to Game 3 of the 2021 New York Junior American Legion Baseball Tournament. in which the Endicott Tigers lead 9-4 over Utica Post 229.
Number 10, Holly.
As we're here in the top of the 7th inning, the final inning of play, as we see some of the backups in. Colin Farrell, not the movie actor, but the baseball player here for Endicott, number 10, will be pitch hitting. Jeruzzi deals, and that's going to be a swing and a miss for strike one. 9-4 is the score. Endicott's in the lead by 5 runs. They could try and extend it here, as that was almost close to hitting Farrell, but it didn't, surprisingly, and it's now 1-1. Here's a pitch by Jeruzzi, and Farrell hits a long one to center field, but that will be caught for out number 1. Here in the top of the 7th inning. The last thing you would want to do if you are Utica Post is give up any runs here.
The shortstop, Cam.
They are down by 5. They have a shot to still make it. Just depends if they have the fight in them. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be strike 1 to Cameron Nunn. With 1 out here in the top of the 7th. It's going to be a grounder, and that's in foul territory, so it'll be 0-2 to Cameron Nunn. So there are no runners on here. 1 out, top of the 7th. Jeruzzi deals. And that almost hit Cameron Nunn there, but it was outside for ball 1. Here's the 1-2 pitch. That's going to be outside for ball 2. So now it is 2-2 for Cameron Nunn. And that's going to be a grounder to third. Bonner throws, and Nunn is safe. Cameron Nunn gets a infield single with 1 out here in the top of the 7th inning. We have number 19, Talon McVannon, now up for Endicott. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be foul for strike 1. Top of the 7th inning, 9-4, Endicott in the lead. Cameron Nunn is at first base. Here's the pitch. There's a steal, and Cameron Nunn gets the stolen base. So apparently that was a strike, and it's now 0-2 on McVannon, with 1 out here in the top of the 7th. Here's the pitch. It's a grounder to third. Ty Bonner's going to throw to first. Out number 1. And that's actually going to be out number 2, as I thought there were. Rossi was going to throw it to third base, but he did not. It wasn't an attempted double play right there, as Cameron Nunn is at third with 2 outs here. As we see number 11, Michael Ferranti, the center fielder, is now back up in the top of the order. That's going to go out of play for a foul. It's now 1-1. Ferranti made that unbelievable catch in the bottom of the 6th inning, in which I thought Patrick Corridori was going to get a base hit out of, but did not. And that's going to be strike 2. It's now a 1-2 count on Ferranti. Runner on third base, 2 outs. Here's Rosie's pitch. Ferranti hits that one well out of play, as that is a foul, and it's still 1-2. Say the score once again. It is 9-4. Endicott in the lead by 5 runs over Utica Post. Jeruzzi deals. And that's going to be a grounder to third. Bonner's going to throw. And that is out number 3. So they gave up no runs here on the top of the 7th inning, as Utica Post is coming up the bat in the bottom of the 7th inning, in which the score is Endicott 9, Utica 4.
Joey Gentile.
And we are back here for the bottom of the 7th inning. Possibly the last 3 outs here could give Endicott a chance to try and extend their tournament chances here. Meanwhile, the 2 losses for Utica Post might leave them in the dirt. It's 9-4. Endicott in the lead over Utica Post. And Conklin is still in at pitcher. That one is high and outside for ball 1. There's a game after this between Clinton County and Rockland, happening around 7 o'clock. 7:30 or 8 o'clock to be exact. Now there's a 2-0 count on Joey Gentile. And that's going to be strike 1. Utica Post has been having a rough day, to say the least. I mentioned before they gave up 8 runs in the top of the 3rd inning in their last matchup against Rockland. In the top of the 6th inning, they gave up 8 runs to Endicott. Both of those times, it led to Utica Post's downfall. Here's a 3-1 pitch to Joey Gentile, and that will be strike 2. It's now a full count. No outs here in the bottom of the 7th inning, as Joey Gentile is the first batter here in the bottom of the 7th. That will be high and outside for ball 4.
Now hitting number 1,
And Joey Gentile is now on first base as Angelo Potagrassi is now going to be up. By the looks of it, it looks like Conklin is going to be out of the ball game. As Mason Ryan takes his best pitcher right now, and Jonah Conklin out of the game. And they're going to put number 25 into the ball game. Trying to look for him on the roster. By the looks of it, it was actually 15, excuse me, not 25. We'll try to bring that to you after the break here on UCTV. And we are back here. I just pulled up Endicott's relief pitcher just pulled up the name. It's Jacob McTeague. He's going to be the relief pitcher for the Tigers here to try and finish this one out. With a runner on first base. Potagrassi is up, and he gets a strike. It's now 0-1. And there's a throw. And it looks like Joey Gentile will be safe. He almost got tagged out there by Houghton. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That one's going to be outside for ball 1. Now with a 1-1 count, Jacob McTeague. Has this 1-1 count. Let's see what he does with it. That's going to be a swing and a miss for strike 2. And Potagrassi now with a 1-2 count, no outs. And Joey Gentile on first base. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be outside for ball 2. The score is 9-4. Endicott in the lead over Utica Post. This game might possibly end further tournament chances for Utica Post. As this ball is high and deep into center field. And that is caught for out number 1. As McTeague was able to get that pop out for out number 1. There's still a runner on first base in Joey Gentile, and Ty Bonner is now up at the plate. Here's the pitch. That's going to be strike 1. McTeague is just trying to get 3 outs here, being up by 5 runs. Trying to extend Endicott's playoff chances. That's going to be tipped and fouled off for Bonner for an 0-2 count. Gentile still at first base. One out. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Ty Bonner. That's going to be outside for ball 2. Here's the 1-2 count. And that's going to be fouled on top of the netting, hitting the parts of the roof. It'll still be a 1-2 count. Gentile takes the lead. He goes back to first. And it's still a 1-2 count for Ty Bonner. Here's the pitch. And Bonner gets a base hit. A single to left field. As Gentile's trying to go for 3, and he gets there safely. And just like that, there are runners on third and first.
Your attention, please.
With a pinch hitter right now, number 11, Gennaro Clemente, is now up at the plate for Utica Post with 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th. That was a hit that Ty Bonner really needed to get, and he got it. We're also going to have a pitch runner as well, as it'll be number 21, Jadiel Romero.
23, number 21, Jadiel Romero.
Jadiel Romero will be at first base. We see that Cornacchia is giving a little bit of advice to Clemente in this situation. Smateague is trying to inform his infielders to try and go in on this. They don't want to risk any grounders getting past them. However, Nicholas Lang is out, and I guess they're not going to be going in. They're going to go back to where they usually are in the infield. 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th inning. 9-4. Endicott in the lead over Utica Post, with runners on third and first. That is high and outside. And Romero gets a stolen base, and now there are runners on third and second. So 1 out here. Clemente has a 1-0 count. And that goes over his head, and it's now 2-0. Utica Post is trying to rally back here. They are down by 5 runs. Clemente gets a hit. They could be possibly down by 3. That's going to be outside for ball 3. 3-0 now for Clemente. Jake Liu is on deck. That's going to be outside for ball 4, and the bases are loaded. Jake Liu, we've been talking a lot about him today. He suffered a lot in the second game of the tournament. We talked about it a lot, giving up 8 runs as a pitcher, leading to the dreadful loss for the Pirates, 16-3. He could try and come back here. And that's going to be strike 1. Would be a pretty good redemption story if he gets something out of this. The bases loaded. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Jake Liu. And that's going to be strike 2. There's 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th. Here's a pitch. That almost hit Jacob Liu right there, and it's now a 1-2 count. On deck is Nick Parada. Here's the pitch. That's going to be outside for ball 2. One out here. Jake Lou's trying to get some momentum going for Utica Post. And it's going to be a grounder. Matigue's going to throw home for out number 1. And that is out number 2. Out number 3, excuse me. And Endicott wins by the score of 9-4. And they will be moving on in the 2021 New York Junior American Legion Baseball Tournament.
Ladies and gentlemen, your final score.
An excellent way to end it for Endicott after losing their first game to Clinton County. And now winning this one 9-4 over Utica Post. That definitely has to give them a confidence boost heading into further down the line in the tournament. So our next game will be soon enough, happening within under the hour, between Clinton County and the Rockland Pirates. This has been a American Legion baseball production for Game 3. Once again, your final score is 9-4, Endicott over Utica Post.